So it's my deep pleasure now to introduce our speaker, Brian Berry. I think we all know Brian, at least most of us do. Brian was heavily involved with the fellowship back in the 70s and worked closely with Paul.
Yeah.
Then he left for a while and came back. It seems like it's about 5 or 6 years ago, which is when I first met Brian. Brian, what was it, Brian?
10 years ago.
10 years. All right, there you go. My time goes fast. 10 years ago, Brian returned. And to me, Brian is the real deal. He walks his talk. His talk is all about love. And his whole life is all about walking that talk and helping and serving others. He's a psychologist. In his spare time, he goes around the world helping children who are in need. In addition to that, he's a psychic healer, a very gifted psychic healer. I personally have been a recipient of his healing work, and I'm very appreciative of your work, Brian. So we love you, Brian. Come on up and speak to us.
These introductions always leave me speechless. Okay. Well, I'm going to begin with a story. So our graduates always bring me to sniffles at least, but I'm going to lift us out of that and I'm going to tell you a little story. And Chris, don't beat me to the final sentence, okay? It seems there was a pastor who had a little white church out in the plains, and it was clapboard, you know, surrounded by fields of wheat. Sky above, tall grasses waving everywhere. Came down to the church one Sunday morning, opened the doors, lit the candles, turned on the lights. Nobody showed. Heavens. So he thought, this has got to be a good day of service. This place needs paint. So he went to the back of the church and he rummaged through the closet and he found a few half-empty gallons of paint, a couple big cans of thinner. He went to work. He started painting, worked through the day. He worked through the night. Every now and then the paint would get very low, he'd add some thinner. A little bit later, he'd add a little more thinner. Finally, the sun came up, he was down to the last few ounces, one more splash of thinner. He wrapped it up, he was done. And he looked up to the sky and he said, Lord, I've done my job. At that moment, a cloud appeared on the horizon and crossed the plains and settled over the church, turned black, and a downpour came down. And every drop of paint washed into the grass. And he looked up and he said, Lord, how can you do this to me? I've done my best. And a voice came out of the cloud and said, repent and sin no more. Well, here we are in our little church on the plains. And most of you know that Sharon and Heidi kindly asked me to do a reading for the fellowship, which I love to do. So I did that reading, and it's kicking around on tables back there. Printed out with a few typos, but that's okay. And by the way, I'm going to send this on recording to anybody whose email address I can get. It's really better in sound than in type. But it's different in kind from the other readings I've done for this fellowship. I've really handed you quite a big assignment. And I'm not fooling. We have to do this one. All right? We need to make some changes. Everybody knows that. For step one of these changes, I'll introduce that to you in the temple. We're going there in a minute. Step two, we need to start thinking in a serious way about what we're going to do. Not just to raise our numbers, but to get a little more hair with color in it in this building. And I don't mean the color that comes in a bottle. All right. Now, we have some unique things to give. Everybody in this room is a channel, a prophet, and a healer. I know that. And every one of us has quite unique gifts, and isn't that wonderful? Well, we have some things to share that were given to us. By Paul Solomon, that's for sure. The terraces, the temple, you can't beat that, and not everybody has it either. What we do in the temple, that is different. Now I'll start with Thursday. How many of you went up the terraces and into the temple Thursday? Uh-oh. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do we have, 75 people here? That's a low number. We do things in the temple that people have longed to do for thousands of years. It is literally a timeless place. And the longing to be there is as old as mankind. We have the tools to get there. We are met there. And things work when we do them in the temple. I'm going to go there in a minute. I'm going to make my talk short and my meditation a little longer. I'm going to give you a charge in the temple. It's not an electrical charge. That's what you get when you're ordained. You're given a charge, and that's what you promised to do. It's that kind of a charge. Of course, I want you to read every word. And of course, it's 13 pages long. That's what I like. But I'm counting on you to do it. All right. And take it to heart. I really want you to. I know if I were a perfected sage, I wouldn't be so invested. But I am invested. I want you to do what's in that reading. It's your reading. It isn't my reading. It's your reading. Now, I've said this before in this place. A reading is a window that remains open. And the window does not belong to the channel, the reader. It belongs to the seeker for whom the reading was done. This is your reading. And it's your window. Undertake what's given here, and you will be met and reinforced, and your power multiplied. And you know the temple. It endures, it is forever, and it's a place of infinite power. Count on that. That's what we have in the temple. I think we're going to go there now. Now, I can't possibly match, much less improve upon, Annalee's work and Chris's work. I know if you close your eyes, you'll be back in the temple in a few seconds. Some of us go to the temple with our eyes open. I do, but I'm a compulsive reader. You know that about me. But you can close your eyes at this point if you wish and settle into your chair. This isn't going to be a long one, but it's going to be an important one. I think we want to approach the temple. I think we want to just reference for a moment those terraces. It's never been a more beautiful trip than the one we took a few minutes ago when Annalee led us up. Bring that back. Especially the colors. And find yourself in the meadow on the mountaintop. And I know we all learned how important it was to recreate it the same way every time. And I also know what a treasure it is when sometimes we go up there and we're given the gift of a new design. And sometimes we have to go there and make a new design. This is one of those times. So we're crossing that meadow. And we come to the reflecting pool, the still reflecting pool. My pool is covered with the sparkles of sunlight. It has ripples of that beautiful breeze that for me always blows on that mountaintop. It is so refreshing. We pass through that pool. We're washed clean. We approach the temple dressed as we are when we enter the temple. It's not our ordinary street clothes. Put on the raiment you wear when you enter your temple. Come to the brazier with the violet flame. It's a cleansing experience. It's not a painful experience. And those regrets and resentments and other dark things we're not quite skilled enough to leave behind, as we come up the mountain, are burned away here at this brazier. Turn first to coals, and then to nuggets of gold which appear at our feet. And we pick them up and we carry them with us up the temple stair, past the outer columns, and into the inner sanctum. Let's walk into that temple. We're going to create some parts of this anew. Lately, my temple has had no roof. The sun shines in into every part of that temple. I love that, and that's a change. Come into your temple and see it fresh and new. And so often we do this alone at home, or if we're fortunate, with a partner. But we think of that temple as a private experience. I honestly think the very best temple is not a private experience. I know the invisible ones are there. I know that my idea of what and who they are is pitifully inadequate, so let's leave our ideas behind. We're there together with the people who are here in this sanctuary. All of us are in one big temple, and we are met there by a light. 40-odd years, I still don't really have words for that light. I count on my teacher for words. I count on the Akashic record to be organized and to be given something to express. But the light is the light, and it does what it does. It does it to me. Sometimes, I swear, it does it for me. Always it does it for all that I have prayed for, all that I have loved, even those I've prayed for but finished. And the gifts we need to do this are given to us. Let peace settle in your heart. No worries about this commitment. You can do this and remain at peace, even more at peace. And we can stop being esotericists for a little while and use the same tools that we used when we led Boy Scout troops or camp counselors or classroom teachers, or the operators of recreation programs. There are many groups more expert at that than we, and we can learn from them right here at street level. Let's do that. See yourself doing that. We do have some leadership in that department, don't we? And let's see this building or another new building ringing with the laughter and the songs of children. Yesterday, a lot of us went to the wedding of a woman who was christened in this building. We need some more christenings. We won't get to have that experience very often. So let's multiply and be fruitful. Okay. Now draw these energies into your being and relax. We're going to come back to this sanctuary and go on with this celebration. It's a celebration. I haven't burdened you with anything so very heavy. So there'll be a meeting tomorrow, the Future of the Fellowship Committee. We'll be making some concrete plans. Please look for what will be coming. And when the phone call comes to you, just say yes. It won't be heavy. Not if we all get in there and pull. And I know we can. So come back to this room and give me a smile. I need them sometimes. And thank you.